Hey, Janelle's.
Janellis.
Sorry. You want some Tostino's pizza roll?
No, those are disgusting and for 12-year-olds.
Don't be crazy. They're delicious.
Yeah, maybe if you're high.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm high right now.
Really?
Yeah.
On weed?
Yeah? Do you want?
Yeah, for sure.
Here.
Listen, I'm sorry I've been so rude lately. I just really hate you.
Oh, no worries. I'm just glad we made marijuana legal in Florida.
What are you talking about? It's still super illegal.
No way, really? Didn't we vote on that about 2 years ago?
Well, yeah. Here, pack another bowl and I'll explain.
And now your Plantain Action News team with Janellis Santos and Gonzalo Morera. Plantain Action News now.
Good evening, Miami. I am Janellis Santos here with Gonzalo, last name not important. And tonight we're going to talk about marijuana, a drug that is definitely at least somewhat illegal in Florida, depending on who you ask and how white you are.
But Janelle's, didn't I forget to vote to make marijuana legal a few years ago?
Well, sort of. In 2014, 58% of Florida voters voted to amend the state constitution to permit the use of medical marijuana by qualifying patients without being subjected to penalties under the state's criminal or civil laws.
Great, so it's legal.
No, because under Florida law, constitutional amendments need 60% approval to pass because, as has been Florida's slogan since the 2000 election, Florida, fuck democracy.
Damn, can we vote on it again this year?
Sort of. There is a question being put to voters this November, but it is much more limited than the 2014 proposal. Under the new ballot, a yes vote would support legalizing medical marijuana for individuals with specific debilitating diseases like cancer, AIDS, Lou Gehrig's disease, Parkinson's, and MS, which is an important reform that will give relief to thousands of residents suffering from truly horrible diseases. But it ignores the numerous other illnesses that also can be successfully treated with marijuana, such as anxiety, arthritis, migraines, and Tourette's syndrome, and also provides absolutely no relief to the millions of adults throughout the state that want to smoke marijuana just because marijuana is scientifically proven to be fucking awesome.
Marijuana is awesome. But look, I'm high like literally all the time. All day, every day. Wouldn't making marijuana legal just create a generation of people who are just high all the time?
Maybe, but who cares? It is illegal now, and there are still people like you and everyone who has ever worked at a Smoothie King who are high all the time. The problem with criminalizing the recreational use of marijuana is it makes 100% easier for police to disproportionately fuck with poor and dark marijuana users for having even just a little bit of weed on them. And local communities like Miami-Dade County, which tried to decriminalize possession of small amounts of pot, the laws were written specifically to allow police the discretion on whether they can arrest people for weed. Now, who do you think is most likely to be subject to such discretionary arrests?
Middle-aged, affluent, white professionals?
Exactly. But actually, it's young, black, and brown boys. Currently, there are 4 states, Alaska, Colorado, Oregon, and Washington, that have legalized the recreational use of marijuana, a policy decision that has resulted in increased tourism, millennial residents, better restaurants, and unfortunately, a proliferation of white boys with dreadlocks. White boys with dreadlocks, not culturally insensitive, just stupid. So stupid. Arizona, California, Maine, Massachusetts, and Nevada will also vote to legalize recreational use of marijuana in November.
So right now, if I go to Nevada, it is legal for me to buy a hooker, but not a bag of weed.
No, Gonzalo, if you bought a hooker, that would be slavery, which is still illegal. But you could rent a hooker.
Oh, that's even better.
But back to marijuana. You at home may be saying to yourself, everyone knows that marijuana is not harmful. It makes things and people and food and music and movies and TV better. Who the hell would want to keep it illegal? Well, it turns out it's primarily little old ladies and also the fucking pharmaceutical industry, as well as those groups that benefit from the pharmaceutical industry, including, and this is going to make you at home very sad, everyone's favorite corporate supermarket chain, Publix.
No!
It's true. Earlier this year, the heiress to the public's fortune donated over $800,000 to anti-medical marijuana action committees, most likely because the chain makes far more money selling prescription drugs to treat debilitating diseases than they do selling Funyuns and beef stroganoff to hungry stoners.
That's awful. I bought these pizza rolls at fucking Publix.
What's really awful are the ads produced by the anti-pot political groups, which are a bit out of touch if you're watching it sober and fucking hilarious if you're watching it high on your laptop at 11:30 p.m. with a muted episode of Family Guy on the TV in the background. Check out this actual video urging voters to reject the very limited medical marijuana proposal that would, if passed, only allow people with the worst, most debilitating diseases imaginable to legally smoke pot.
This is not medicine, not regulated by the FDA, not prescribed by a doctor. But Amendment 2 makes it legal.
Wonder what Amendment 2 will do to Florida? The same thing it did to California. Thousands of pot shops pushing pot for things like trouble sleeping and anxiety. Only 3% of so-called patients have cancer or AIDS. Amendment 2 isn't about helping the sick. It's about legalizing pot. In California, we learned that the hard way. Don't let it happen to Florida. Vote no on Amendment 2.
You'll notice that the ad doesn't mention how few people would actually be able to get high under the proposed ballot, but instead warns Florida voters to vote against turning Florida into California. Now, you may instinctively dismiss California as a loser state with a better and more robust economy than ours that is also filled with better-looking people who are, statistically speaking, happier, with better access to art and culture than we have in Florida. You may also say, Janellis, I really like all the environmental catastrophes, mosquito-borne illnesses, reptile attacks, and racial unease that comes from living in Florida. Well, to you, sweet voter, I say, we can still have all those awful things because that's our God-given right as Floridians. But maybe all of the truly awful things we have to deal with as Floridians, like the apocalyptical summers and the gaping economic disparity, wouldn't be so unbearable if, in fact, we had a pot shop on every corner.
We should also have a taco stand on every corner.
Well, yeah, that's just good for the soul.
Yeah.